Hi, I'm Michael Pravica. I'm a professor of physics here at UNLV, and I've been here since 2003, fall 2003, and I've been writing proposals since I believe the spring of 2004. I've been funded by NASA, by the Army, by the Department of Energy, and I'll never forget the first day when I was interviewing here for the job in the spring of 2003, I spoke with Malcolm Nickel, who was a well-known professor of physics and chemistry who had managed to get our high-pressure center grant, which has been continuously funded up until now, since 1998. And the first thing he told me is, you're going to get your own money, right? That was an expectation. And in fact, he had an interesting way to look at it. He said, professors are entrepreneurs. So they do whatever it takes to get the money. And I'm an experimentalist, so it's particularly important for me as far as funding graduate students, undergraduates, and of course, we do a lot of travel to do our experiments in other facilities all over the world. So I have kind of a very multidimensional perspective of funding. But the biggest thing that I've been very fortunate that I started a field of science, and so it's very easy to kind of, when they're looking at the broader impact from a scientific standpoint, say, well, we're hoping to make this become, for example, a practical material. So through UNLV, I actually managed to get 2 patents based on what we've discovered. And actually, I'm going to there's a conference tonight, a workshop on becoming a small business entrepreneur. So I'm actually hoping to maybe to transition at some point from, say, federally funded research into something that would be in the private sector. So I'm not an expert on that, but as far as writing proposals themselves, the most important thing is, as Caleen mentioned, that you got to follow the instructions to a T. To give you one story, I wrote a proposal some years ago to the American Chemical Society, and I was so proud of this proposal. It was doing high pressure NMR. I had the world's record. I mean, I figured this would be a very positive, something that had a high chance of being funded. But through the process, somehow I had signed the cover sheet, but when I merged all the documents, I merged the wrong cover sheet. So I didn't have the signature on the cover sheet when I submitted it. And of course, I submitted it at the last minute and rejected. Just summarily rejected because I didn't sign the cover sheet. Okay? So the earlier comments about getting things in early, I took that I started to take that very seriously. So in fact, within the Office of Sponsored Projects, they're like, wow, you're one of the people who really gets things in on time and early, a week, 2 weeks early. So I learned that lesson the hard way. Okay. Well, perhaps, perhaps. So, following directions are very important. Answering, if they have a series of, even if they don't look like questions, but they're bringing it up in the documentation, respond to it. I had a recent proposal I wrote to NASA, and I know I responded to one of these issues, but somehow one of the reviewers didn't see it and said I didn't respond to it, and that was rejected. Okay. So respond to every detail. One proposal many years ago, I used to like to write in that spirit as just a connector between 2 paragraphs. So I was called out for writing in that spirit too many times in the proposal. Okay, so I'm a scientist, but you do have to be aware of how you're communicating, to whom you're communicating. Be careful of the punctuation, the grammar, acronyms. Try and minimize those because, again, as Caleen pointed out, you don't know who's going to be reviewing your proposal. But again, for me, proposals are not just financial. I encourage my students to apply for scholarships because for me, that means that's one less student I have to worry about as far as funding. So I've been very fortunate that many of my students have won tremendous scholarships, including an Army Smart Fellowship, for example, for a student who ended up going to Princeton, who had been with me as an undergraduate. At the Canadian Light Source, for example, where we do a lot of work, they were trying to accommodate us for our high pressure experiment. They funded $15,000 to build a high pressure ruby fluorescent system just for us. So, I mean, even though that wasn't money that was directly impacting me, they built a facility for us. So making that connection with that this is going to be very useful even to Canadian society, for example, will be something that's very powerful. Another thing that I just wanted to comment when I write proposals is that certainly with the NSF and many scientific-based organizations, they also want to see an outreach component. Okay, so there's the science, but there's the broader impact from societal benefit. And so I am fortunate. I do a lot of outreach. I speak to high schools. I'm known. I've even known as a scientist with Marshawn Lynch and the Oakland Raiders. So I take advantage of that. I write down, wow, look at, I have all this things I've done. And so actually on the broader impact, that's why I usually get the most glowing reviews of my proposals. So, don't forget that. Yes, the science is out for whatever the subject that you're trying to get funded is absolutely important. But at the same time, especially in today's day and age, there's always this sense of accountability. How is this, if I put in X dollars of research money to fund your enterprise, so your entrepreneurial enterprise, how is that going to impact society at large? And so always trying to address that, it's very easy in the sciences. I could say, well, I have all these students who've gone on commanding a nuclear submarine or running a company. So, but make that comment, make that connection that says this money is not just going to some narrow one-dimensional field of science, going in this direction, that it's actually going to have a much broader sense of helping society. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say.